What is going on firsthand? Today is Wednesday, January 31st. It is your midweek review. Going to keep it short and sweet. It is the last day of January, so note that monthly candle closure is occurring today and will be occurring in the next 30 minutes on most of your charts. For the rest of the week, as we go into the start of February, a couple things to note. Tomorrow, you have all-day OPEC meetings, so that's tentative throughout the entire day. So tomorrow should be pretty volatile. But on top of that, at 8:30, you have unemployment claims, and at 10 o'clock, you have an ISM manufacturing PMI, and then you have the pricing of that ISM being released on top of that too. So news both at 8:30 and 10 a.m., both are red folders, and all day you do have that sensitive news being that OPEC JMMC meeting. Other than that, on Thursday, that's it. On Friday, obviously, we have NFP being released at 8:30. You have average hourly earnings month on month, unemployment rate also on top of that, non-employment change, all being released at 8:30. We know how volatile that can get. That will be a fireworks show. And at 10 a.m., you also have a revised consumer sentiment as well. I will be in my room Friday morning from 8 a.m. till about 11:30 a.m. I'll be watching and tape reading the entire AM session with you guys on Friday, so you guys will be able to kind of get an insight as to how I would just watch and tape read and study an NFP. So hopefully that'll be insightful. Other than that, we obviously have our group call on Sunday, and I think that's it for me with regards to news and anything else coming up. Just keep in the back of your schedules. Friday, I'll be live in my room. I know Henry's been going live in his room. It's been going great. And on Sunday, we have our group call. Other than that, just make sure that you're very safe throughout this week. Make sure that risk is in the forefront of everything you do within your trading, as it does as we enter the back half of this week. Probabilities of trades and just everything that we study as traders that try to study ICT and just trading in general, right? Be aware of risk, right? That should be the main thing that you think of. So make sure that if you do feel whatever the reason is to get into the market, make sure that that risk is, where it needs to be. Other than that, that's it for me with regards to any news and or notifications that I have to give out. Henry, what about you?
Yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of news. Thanks to everyone who joined us this morning. Got some new folks into the Discord. If you haven't joined us in the Discord already and you're watching this on YouTube, the link to get into the Discord is in the video description. You can also check out our WAP page if you do want to become an official member at Firsthand. We got live trading calls, and we'll be doing a whole lot of things in there. Backtesting. What else we got, Carson?
Training exercises.
Training exercise.
Just direct access to us on a day-to-day basis. We're a lot more active than we have been. This Discord has been so good to everyone so far. We've only been doing it since Sunday, so hopefully you guys have found value out of that. And we're just going to kind of keep on, taking your guys' feedback, seeing what you guys want, seeing what you guys need, and making sure that we cater to it day in and day out. Other than that,
that's right.
Dollar. So finally, we started to get a little bit movement out of dollar. Please note that obviously this monthly candle does close within the next 2 days or 2 hours. So it is a little bit different on dollar with regards to the closure, but it will close at 6 o'clock. I believe it's 6 or 7 o'clock. Note that we are now trading in and around that volume imbalance. We've been kind of trading here all week. We haven't really been going anywhere. And the idea is that we might probably want to deliver into this monthly SIBI, right? We're coming off of this monthly BISI after coming into it a couple times. So the idea is that can we get that delivery higher into this monthly SIBI? Going into a weekly, if you're taking this dealing range, right, the low to the high, and you understand where the equilibrium is, right, we're seeing if price wants to push into that premium, right? And not only into that premium, but a specific premium array with regards would be this SIBI, right? So we've got this weekly SIBI that we're looking that could potentially be a draw on liquidity, right? Not just highs and lows, but also inefficiencies can be played as draws. And and we've talked about this plenty of times over the past couple of weeks. Once we got closure right here through this SIBI, right, we were looking to see if dollar could use it as support and go higher, right? It's had some trouble getting through this order block, and that's okay. It's just been a range that we've been playing in. But overall, you can start to see even on higher time frames, we're starting to use that as support and go higher. So my idea is that we can continue to use the support and start to make headway into this weekly SIBI here and get above equilibrium. So really aiming for price above 104 flat. Hopefully, if we go higher on dollar too, we can start to see what indices really want to do and see if potentially we can start to get a trend in some form of underlying sentiment that we can actually start to hold on to. But really, there's a lot more on the daily. So we're obviously been playing inside of this SIBI, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But all closure has been on the upper portion of this SIBI, which likes to tell me that price obviously is not respecting it as it should. Today, we finally got a good reaction, right? We came back below the consequent encroachment of this wick, right? If you also want to look at the consequent encroachment of this wick right here, which we've talked about multiple times, right? This rejection block right here, right? You can see that we rejected it, and now you can see the willingness to want to go higher, right? So my two buy side targets that I'm looking for that could potentially play out for the week would be obviously Monday's high in and around 103,800, but more so the buy side liquidity resting at 104,200, and then obviously all of the inefficiencies that lie above it. But really, my main focus going into this week is to see if we can obviously clear 103,800, finally get a boost. I'm looking to see, obviously, once today closes, I will I will grab the consequent encroachment of this wick, which is this line right here, and really just focusing to see that if we do deliver lower, right, we should just get something like this, right? That's my main focus going into this week. Obviously, we could continue to get overextended and start to head more for, higher prices and buy side. But really, my main focus is to see if we want to actually continue higher, working and take out what we've already printed in so far as this weekly high, which would be Monday's high. Other than that, that's really it for dollar. I think FOMC at least gave us a clear vision as to what direction it is. Notice that there hasn't really been any displacement yet so far, especially on a daily. So we will have to wait. There's been no displacement either in here. But what I would like to potentially see is if price does want to give us a run higher in here, right? I would want to maybe use this as a breaker, right? Excuse all of this mess in here. This is me probably one day this week, just charting a bunch of stuff up, not realizing that I'm making a mess. But if we can, get some closure above this candle in here, would want to start to use that as a breaker, right? So start to see if price could come down into here and use that as support. But I am curious to see if we want to keep this low that we made today during FOMC and throughout the entirety of the day in the AM session. Do we want to continue to hold this and then from there go higher? That's my main focus right now. There's nothing that's signaling me right now that would lean towards the downside. I think after today's price action, even though I was already leaning towards the upside, I still am leaning towards the upside more. The only thing that is really, on the smaller time frames, keeping me from that is just on a 4-hour time frame. You can see the higher end of this SIBI right here. It hasn't closed yet, but we still have about 2 hours left, but still wanting to see it push higher. And if you kind of look at it, right, these highs are so clean, right? If I'm just looking at it from a resistance perspective, right, when retail sees this, they see obviously just these clean highs acting as quota resistance. And you can see when dollar has spiked lower, it's recovered very well, right? It's taking these internal lows in here, right? You can see whether you want to call it trend line liquidity or whatever the case is, right? It's taking this liquidity and it's coming right back up, right? It's the way it's recovering after it's dropping, right? Every time we've dropped, we've recovered pretty well and we've just kind of stayed here. So I think we've just been accumulating some orders in here, getting people to go more short, right? Inducing sellers in the market to therefore engineer more liquidity to then drive price higher, right? The idea is we want to see price go higher. And I think that just like over here, we've had these extended areas where price is just consolidated, which have just been reaccumulation. And I think you're getting just a bigger portion of that in here as well. And we're getting that second phase of reaccumulation to then distribute higher as well. So if you wanted to also look at a 4-hour, you've got a SIBI right here, right? And you can note how well that the candle bodies have been respecting it, right? As inversion, right? Price has not wanted to go outside of that at all, right? It's kind of, if you were looking at which way it was slipping a little bit more, to me, it's stayed more consistent to the top half of it. So overall, I would like to still see price go higher. Other than that, that's about it for me on dollar. I'm curious to see where this week closes. I'm curious to see where this month closes. Obviously, with only 2 hours left in the technical monthly candle, I'm curious to see if we can start to give some leeway to the buy side in this SIBI that we've been waiting for a while. Other than that, that is it for me.
Okay. I will go into indices. All right, so we'll just start on the monthly charts and then we'll go into ES and then NASDAQ. So taking a look here, we are about to get monthly closure of this candle right here in 13 minutes. And then when that closes, you'll have an inefficiency resting in here between this candle's high and this candle's low in the form of a BISI, a buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. And so now that we have that inefficiency below price, this is an area that price could gravitate to if we see certain price action leading to that. We do still have buy side resting above. If you look at ES on the continuous contract on the monthly, buy side above this high up here on the monthly. So it's a matter of, is price going to reach for the buy side first or return into the inefficiency below? And going into lower time frame charts, you can get a better idea of which may occur first. So if we drop down to the weekly, we can see here is the monthly BISI resting below. And then today you can see that we came back into this weekly BISI after we traded out of this one here. So price dropping into the weekly BISI here between this candle's high and this candle's low. Trading higher, creating a new inefficiency as it leaves it, which is good. That's a continuation of bullish order flow there. And now trading back into it. So now we want to see now as we drop down to daily and 4-hour timeframes, do we see new displacement higher out of this BISI here? Or do we see displacement lower and closure back below it? If we do see closure back below, then we could see price continue into the last down close candle right here. And the way I look at this on a weekly basis is as long as we do not see candle closure below the mean threshold of this last down close candle. So I'm just using the body here because it's a pretty stocky candle. When we have a candle that's super wicky, like this, for example, then I'll use the entire candle. But when we just have a candle that's pretty stocky like that, then I like to use the body to identify the mean threshold. So as long as we don't get closure through that mean threshold, my expectation is that we do continue to see higher prices. If you do see closure through, then the expectation from there would be that price continues to work down toward the sell side below this low, which is also the high end of the monthly BISI. As we drop into a daily time frame, you can see we do still have some inefficiency below, being here, and a small one here as well. And I'm actually going to grab this same fib just to keep things clear. Or if I put it on, we'll go from the most energetic dealing range, so this low up to this high right there. You can see we're not quite back into a discount yet. So if price is going to return from a premium into a discount, you'll want to see price continue a bit lower down into that 48.55 3/4 level. Okay. And then, of course, in terms of the higher time frame bias, continuing to monitor things from the weekly basis, noting the mean threshold of this down close candle right here, and expecting that as long as we don't get closure through the mean threshold, that we can continue to see higher prices. Okay, NASDAQ, same idea for the most part. We do have a lower monthly BISI down here, but we don't have one here like ES had. NASDAQ has already made complete new all-time highs, so there's no buy side above, no external buy side to reach for from prior price data. We just have this monthly high, which represents the buy side at this point. Dropping down to a weekly, you can see we have the same thing here. Price trades into the weekly BISI, creates a new one as it displaces higher, continuing that bullish order flow. And then this week so far, we've seen price return back into that inefficiency and into the consequent encroachment of the BISI. Right? Same idea if you're looking at the down close candle here, drawing from the opening price to the closing price, you can get your mean threshold. And as long as the weekly candle does not close below this level, then the expectation is higher prices. If you do get closure below, then you can gravitate toward the sell side below here and down as far as the monthly BISI, which is here. Oh, didn't translate over. Let me do that. There we go. So back below sell side, price would naturally work to the monthly BISI below here. right? On a daily time frame, I'll use the same fib again to keep things clean. Looking at our price run here, I'll actually use from this low. You can see we've just worked into a discount right here within this dealing range. I would suspect that price can continue to work into the overlapping PD arrays. If you jump back to a weekly time frame, we had an inefficiency here in the form of volume balance, which we traded right through. So I like to look to the overlapping PD arrays rather than just this inefficiency itself. And so while we did trade to the consequent encroachment today, I'd expect that price does continue a bit deeper down to the overlapping PD arrays right here at this 17,165 and a quarter level. All right, and just in terms of monitoring where price could continue if we do go beyond that, we do have this inefficiency resting here as well. All right, that pretty much covers it for me. Carson, any last thoughts?
Nope, all good. You know, now that we're doing this, now that we're in Discord and stuff, you know, every morning, if not every morning, every other morning, we're going to be, you know, in front of you guys, tape reading, doing things live in front of the market, you know, candle by candle. So whether you're new, whether you're experienced, whatever the case is, hopefully you guys find some insight there. Other than that, it's really about it for me. I'm all good.
Should we give a brief rundown on the Discord for anyone who's not in there yet?
Yeah, we can. Sure.
All right, cool. I'll just do a quick screen share. I'll just show you what's going on inside. So if you do want to take a look at our webpage and get involved in here, you can be part of this as well. So inside the Discord, we've got our welcome channel. We've got important announcements, our rules, socials, all that stuff. We do our live events here. So if you're on the free side of things in the Discord, anyone's welcome to join it. We do a pre-market review in there for everyone in the morning. We're going to be doing them at 8:45 up until 9:30 when we get the New York equity open. So you're welcome to join, come into the live events, and you
ask
can,
questions.
Yeah,
right?
Come in, ask questions, and here's our morning chart and trade.
Don't think that just because you're free, you're not going to get any value, right? If it's something that you can't afford, or now's not the time, and you just want to test it out a little bit, like utilize those free chart and chats, because you can still ask questions in the chat, and odds are myself or Henry will be able to answer them, right? That's the main goal too, is that you can still get some questions to your trading answered for free while you're in there prior to that 9:30 equity open. So use them.
Yeah, absolutely. Come in. We want to help you grow. So use that Discord invite link down in the description of this video. If you do decide to subscribe and become an official member at Firsthand, you'll have the community section, so you can make your introduction here. We've got our members chat and our trading chat. You can see a couple folks sharing trades from today. And then we've got our group calls. So all our prior group calls listed here. These are also where the videos are posted immediately. So the videos come out on our YouTube on a slight delay if you're just watching them in the public format. But if you're inside the Discord, then you'll be able to see our group calls and our midweek reviews shared here as soon as we film them. Then we've got the training exercises. These are everything that we do on the Sunday calls. So we open up these training exercises. You make your submissions on the Sunday calls. We provide you personalized feedback to help grow your trading, your trade management, your trade psychology. And we've seen amazing growth across our traders in Firsthand through these exercises. We've had 20 weeks of them now. So it continues to prove to be pretty good. Then the lounge, if you just want to hang out. Carson did one of these last night, shared a bit of trading psychology and a bit about his story. We do those frequently in the evenings. Then you've got my commentary and trade room and Carson's as well. This is where we do our live trading if we're leading a session in the morning. We also provide commentary as the market continues to trade throughout the day, often in the PM session. Firsthand trade floor, we're going to be leading more calls in here together. And then we've got resources for you all as well. ICT concepts, economic calendar, we share what's coming up for the week. And we're going to be sharing some journaling tools for you all as well. And then in the next 2 weeks, we'll have an introductory course in here built out for you, so you can learn what's a good way to go through ICT concepts, and then how you can come into the Discord, begin to build your own trading model, learn trade management, learn the psychology that you need, learn how to backtest, forward test, journal, all that stuff, and then end up working toward trading in a demo environment, and then getting yourself funded, and then a path to continue beyond that.
And it is free.
This will be completely free. If you just join using that Discord invite link in the description, you'll be able to access all of this. It's not out quite yet, but it will be available in the next 2 weeks. All right, that's it for me.
That's it for me. Trade safe.
Trade safe.
See
be
y'all in the
responsible.
Discord. I will
See you
end
in
it. I will end it on this. Not everybody gets the chance to be great, but everybody gets the chance to be. No, excuse me, I messed it up. Not everyone gets the chance to be the best, but everyone gets the chance to be their best. So figure
I
out
like
what you
that.
got to do. Figure out what you got to do. Get it done, and I'll see you in the Discord.
All right, we'll see y'all in there. Be safe. Take care.